We have that delay.
Welcome to GameByte.
This episode of GameByte is brought to you by Jinx.com. To get 10% off of your entire shopping cart, use the promo code QUITSTALLING_366 at checkout. If you want to enter the tavern in some Hearthstone shirts, if you couldn't make it to Gamescom, so you decided to walk around your house in a Warcraft shirt, or maybe you want to support your supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle card addiction, head on over to Jinx.com and use the promo code QUITSTALLING_366 at checkout to get 10% off of all your gamer and geek swag. That's QUITSTALLING_366 at checkout. Alright, welcome everyone to the show that gives you free single-player missions with each expansion. This is our excuse to go on the internet once a week in order to just pretty much talk about video games and call it work. I am Herald Silvestre. I will be your host, and I am broadcasting live from the Quit Stalling Podcast studio. And with me today, I got some players. Holla holla.
Son of a
Let's start.
Too far, man. You took it too far, man.
Let's start with. If you want a PC built, he's the Fury Bot, Mick DeGuzman. How you doing, Mick?
First for the first time. Oh shit, sorry about that. It's the first time. Hey everybody. Hi Harold. Hi Anna. Hi everyone watching. Hi Diego.
And that
it's been
other
so long since we last saw each other. It felt like like it felt like days already. Yeah. Since we last saw each other.
Most definitely.
It's been too long.
All right, and with me and Mick today, as he mentioned, he's selling his Mac, 21.5 inches. It's Diego Z. How you doing, Diego?
Hey! I'm glad we're wearing the same shirt, Harold.
Oh, yeah, man, definitely.
We're both in space. Shout out to Holy Potatoes.
Shout out to Daylight Studios and Holy Potatoes, Ivan Moltini. And they have a new game. It's called Holy Potatoes. Oh, shoot, it's slipping my mind. It's about forging weapons. Gosh, dang it. I was just talking to him about it the other day. It's out on iOS and Android. It's $4.99. I'm trying to look for
really?
Yeah, I'm trying to stall. He told us about the game, that it was under development, and it's slipping my mind what it's called. It is called Weapon Shop. Holy Potatoes. It's a weapon shop. And you guys should check that out, iOS and Android. We're not getting paid to say that, nor are we getting paid to wear these shirts. But they're great people, and this is a super sweet shirt. So I did want to talk about it. Mick's shirt isn't as cool. Actually, it's not cool at all.
Someone's phone is, I think, ringing because I can hear a vibration on the table.
That's our bed music. It just sounds like it's ringing. It's one of those traditional instruments from the planet of Endor. All right, so that's also what I sound like in the bathroom. So I want to welcome everyone once again. This is episode 28 of GameByte. This is Wednesday, August the 30th in the year of our Lord 2017. Praise Jesus. Let's see. Oh man, we're starting to drop frames on the stream. I hope you guys are having a smooth experience.
Yeah.
The weather has been
bad
weird.
How bad is it?
Just like 6%, but you know, like I've been experiencing this over the past few days. Actually, since the last show, it started happening. So I don't know. When I download something, it's pretty good. But when it comes to uploading and actually certain websites, it's been really bad. So I don't know what's up.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
Like I've been getting a lot of buffering issues with YouTube ever since they did the facelift.
Oh,
God, you YouTube now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
It looks nice. I like the new logo. The new logo is nice and clean. They still kept the the play button, the red play button there on the right side.
Yeah, but
So it really
they made the Y and the T capital, and then the other thing is not capital.
Hasn't it always been
but
capital?
If you look closely, you'll see that even the interface of the whole of your whole like dashboard, or like your as your character, you as your profile, you see how clean it is. You see that it's bigger fonts now. It's a lot It's you could. It's at your face. There you go.
Oh yeah, joke line. Sorry, it's always been the Y and T are capital. Everything else is small. Yeah. As for the interface, yeah, it seems a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to go as minimalistic as possible. The thing is,
true.
I mean, looking at like how when you go to a video and you see how the whole interface, the comment section, it's like at first it's kind of hard though to like tell where is what, because I don't know if that's because the design isn't done well, or it's that we're so accustomed to the old format, the old layout.
Ooh, I see. You're not wrong in saying that. You're not wrong at all.
But I mean, it'll iron out eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Alright.
Elgin on the chat goes, "Is it a Blizzard game, Mick?" Hey,
Oh.
yeah, we were talking before.
Yeah, Elgin in the chat is also saying he hopes Star Citizen is good, and that he couldn't stand Shadow of Mordor, which we were talking about in the pre-show, because it was unplayable on the PS3. That sucks, dude. That sucks.
I played it on the PC, so I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself too much on that game.
Nice. All right,
There are
so
days I did not go out the house.
all right. So what we're gonna do, guys, like I do at the start of every show, I'm gonna ask you. Hold on, let me play some other music. All right.
Oh yeah, we're playing Hearthstone music now. Nice.
Yeah.
Hi,
all right,
Gia, how are you doing?
right.
Hey.
I want to ask you guys, what have you been playing? Let's start with Diego. So, actually, Diego, before you start, I do want to say this is a question to everyone out there, including you guys at the chat. Let us know what you've been playing, and we're gonna shout it out over in the show. So, Diego, man, let's start with you. What have you been playing?
Well, the first game I thought about that I actually played, I'd kind of consider it a game. Death Note VR, one in the Netflix booth. Shout out to my girlfriend Cheska, is also listening. We played this VR game together. Harold, I sent you the files that I want you to play because I want to tell a story here.
Oh yeah, sure. Hold on one second. Let me bring it up. No, go for it. Keep talking.
But anyway, okay. So basically, I think Mick, you can attest to this one. The line for the Death Note back at the Netflix booth was pretty long, right? So it was like a 1 hour wait in that one booth. That's because it was a VR experience, and you couldn't do it as a group. You could only do it individually, and it was like 4 people at a time, but individual rooms at different times. So it's like literally a conveyor belt. So as you're seeing there, we don't have actual footage of the gameplay because it's not available yet. But basically, if you know what Death Note is, you're basically when you put on the goggles, you're put into a room, and then basically what you have to do is look for the Death God somewhere.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's a really scary room, and they see the thunders flashing like from the window. It's a really scary scene, and they tell you gotta look for the Death God somewhere. So first it appears there at the corner where the closet is, and then next thing you know, like as you're looking for him, he'll throw an apple right across your face. Yeah. So like holy shit, you'll look like, oh my god, he's not there. And then all of a sudden, usual typical jump scare. The lightning strikes, and then there's a Death God that appears right there. Okay, so now to the meat of what really happened. It was funny because, as you can see there, it's me screaming. Cheska was the first one to go in line. All right, so she was the first one to go in line, and then she asked like, "Can't me and my boyfriend do this together?" And she's like, "No, it's better if you experience this individually." So Cheska goes ahead. Then like 5 minutes later, I go after. So in Cheska's booth, she was doing the whole VR experience, and then she was ahead of me. And then after a while, she hears this really loud scream, and she's like, "Grabe naman yung babae na to." Like, she's like so scared, but I'm gonna get on. And then when she finishes, it's my turn. So I go out of my cubicle. I finish the VR experience, and then I go up to Cheska. Cheska, did you hear me scream? And they got this. And the video you're showing is me screaming when the jump scare happened. And then I screamed so loud, all the other rooms could hear me. And like, when I went out of my cubicle, I was like, I tried to play cool, straight face as if that wasn't me who screamed. Because once you go out your door, you look at all the people who are lining up with you. So like,
So here's the thing.
Did you guys hear it?
No, what was super funny is I was outside because I was with Jay and Wancho from the Geekcast, by the way, every Tuesday, 7 p.m.
Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Mick.
I was with them. What?
Thank you so much for that plug. Thank you so much for that
no
plug.
problem. So I was with Jay and Wancho, and then we lined up for the Death Note VR because once we got in the Netflix booth, there is a shitload of people. There was a long line for everything, and then I go, how long is the VR gonna take? And it's like 6 to 10 minutes, according to depends on how fast you can find the death gun.
Oh wow.
And then so we lined up for it. I was already having second thoughts because I have motion sickness, so I can't really do VR work. I can't really do a VR for more than like a few minutes, like 2 minutes.
Okay.
I get super dizzy after that. So I decided to back it out. And so I was just waiting there. There's a bench right behind the Death Note, space. So while I was sitting there, I was just looking at the Defenders, like this Defenders plaque, and then I hear a loud shout, "Ah!" It's like that. You hear it like a girl. What was that? And then I see Wancho and Jay go, "Hey man, we'll just go with you because the thing is, take a while." I said, "Okay, you don't have to though." But yeah, when we went around, we saw Jego like 5 minutes later, and they go, "Yeah, did you hear Jego scream?" I'm like, "That was you!"
Oh man!
I kept laughing. I couldn't stop laughing because it's pretty big. It's a pretty big booth, but it's small in a sense that they're right beside each other. And then we got there. They were giving away a lot of stuff. They were giving away so much ballers. They were giving away shades.
Wow.
Shades, man. Oh wait, speaking about shades. Oh my God, Herald, did Wancho tell you this?
No,
Because
no.
In the okay, I can't believe Herald. Yeah. Basically, since Cheska and I were first, right? So you're thinking, okay, let's play a little game again. Let's play a little game with Mick, Wancho, and Jay. So when we saw them at the Netflix booth, at the Death Note booth, there is on the side of the wall, along the line, there is like a whole, the police board with all the pins and then the strings, the colored strings, and there's like pictures of suspects and victims. So there's one like that across the side where everyone's lining up, and it says there, "Who is Kira?" So
I've seen the photos. Wait, I'll bring them up. They're on the Quit Stalling Facebook, actually.
Yeah, and then what we were telling them, guys, put on the Netflix shades that they gave you. There's some secret Easter eggs on the walls.
and then Wancho fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Shades. Try to look at the wall.
What? Yeah, dude, that was.
Yeah.
Oh man, Wancho really.
That must have been
Wancho's
awesome for you guys.
Yeah, I just want to give credits. I just want to give credits to Jessica. It was her idea. I was like, oh my God, please, let's do that. It was her idea. It was, but once you got pissed at me.
Story short, our experiences there was okay, but yeah, we could have done more. We didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't. Yeah. We didn't even go to the meet and greet of Gaku's space, man. We didn't even hear Genji go, Mada. Like
Asia Pop Comic Con was fun this year because I was with you guys, and it was really cool. But the fact that there were so many people, and they started closing halls, like it was really hard to navigate around it and meet up and stuff. It was they didn't make it easy for us.
We can dedicate like a whole show to it, but like I think you guys already did that for Geekcast.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But we're here to talk about Gamescom, guys. We're here to talk about Gamescom.
Yeah, right. Gamescom. But yeah, going out of Death Note VR, last game I played this week was Destiny 2, but we can get onto that later.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's one of our topics.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. So Mick, what have you been playing?
Oh my God, we're supposed to talk about Asia Pop at the end of the segment, but all right.
Thank you very much. Anyway, well, aside from the PUBG and the Hearthstone, I've actually picked up this game that has been in. You could say it was developed for about maybe 1 or 2 years. It's now available on Steam for about 500 pesos. That's easy. That is 20XX. It's an amazing. Wow, it's not an amazing game. It's a really great game. It's a very nostalgic game, and not to mention it's a very hard game because it's a platformer. It's a side-scrolling platformer.
Whoa!
It's kind of like Mega Man and roguelikes. You know, it has that kind of feel. So you have to be fast. There's a lot of things that you have to go up. You have to go up.
So it's a pretty solid platformer.
It's a very good platformer. And the thing is about that game is
it looks very
when
Mega
you
Man
finish
like.
one stage, it's very Mega Man like. As in like the characters. There are two characters there. You can play two characters. You can play either Nina, who is Mega Man, and just so happens. Luke, or you can play Ace or Zero in the Mega Man franchise. That's basically it. Well, the only thing that frustrates me about the game is that if you die, you have to start from the very beginning. So if you kill like 2 or 3 bosses and you die, you have to go. So you only live 1 life, and you have to kill all of the bosses. And I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if it's like if there's like an end to it. But then yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
I'm not a fan of having to start all the way at the start.
And you, sir, will not like Hellgate, or what's that game again? The new one, Hellgate? Is that Hellgate? No. Hellraiser, Hell something. Hellraiser. It's a game where if you like, through hell and stuff, it's very fuckish. And then if you like die, you have to start from the very beginning. That's what I heard.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And aside from XX, I picked up an old game that came out around 2015. And recently, it's on its 4th major patch, which is known as Earth Defense Force. There we go.
Oh,
Earth
nice.
Defense. DEDF deploys. Yep, yeah. They have that song. It's on loop. It's basically a no-brainer. It's kind of like a Serious Sam meets Japanese style setting.
They're
So
kaijus.
you killing giant monsters with guns, and then you have there are 4 classes there, and I normally play the Ranger. You even have a Megazord there. I call it a Megazord. I don't know what its name is.
You might as well call it a Megazord, right?
It's like a giant robot, and it looks like a fucking Megazord. Like every time we summon that, even every time I play with my friends, well, I only played it a few days, but every time they summoned it, we always sing "Go Go Power Rangers." It's fun because it's very chaotic. It's really like a no-brainer game. There's no strategy involved. It's just really point and shoot, and you're just fucking around with your friends. If you really want to do that with someone, or with your group of friends, like 3 other friends, then you definitely should pick up this game. It's around 1,200 pesos, but then it's not. I don't know if I could say if it's worth it, but from the looks of it, it's being updated because it's a game that came out I think 2016, and all the way up to now they've been refreshing the game. They've recently made it full 1080p resolution on new PCs, so you'll be enjoying a more crisper experience, crisper graphics and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's too early for me to tell if it's a game that I will really recommend. But the 20XX, I definitely recommend that one, especially for those who don't
Mega Man,
who have a low salt diet, have low salt in their diet. You need this in your life.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right, real quick, guys, shout out to Darren Aceto in the chat. Shout out to Urim, who joined us earlier on. Claude Gamboa, Anton Medaya. Who else joined us earlier on?
YOLO the game. Yeah, you're right, man. That's YOLO the game.
Sechu Daez, Oliver Togonon, Kaiser Urim Miguel, Anta Cruz, Jaime Marfori, Elgin, Cheska, Mick DeGuzman. Just reading everything on the... I'm just reading everything.
Yep, that's me. Sorry.
All right, awesome, guys. Let us know in the chat what you've been playing, and we'll get to it. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Elgin, before he left, said he played Absolver yesterday, and he's saying the way he could describe it is it's Dark Souls. If Dark Souls and Journey had a baby, then Tekken and For Honor had a baby, then those babies had a baby, it'd be Absolver. So that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool concept. I've been seeing Absolver a lot on IGN and Kotaku.
Really good.
Oh, okay. Oh man, yeah.
Online melee action. Okay.
Online melee. That's
Absolver is an online
sounds
That was the name of Diego's sex tape.
Absolver.
No, online melee action.
online melee action. Sword fighting.
Sword fighting.
We caught Victoria.
All right.
Wait, I got this now, guys. I got this.
Anyway,
Harold,
yeah.
what have you been playing?
Oh,
So thoughtful, Diego.
You so thoughtful, me, sir.
I'm very glad you asked. All right, so first things first, I haven't been able to play really much of anything since the last show, but I did get to finally get PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I got to play 2 games. Let me see if I can bring up a recording of that, because I wanted to make sure I documented my first foray into PUBG.
Did you get a chicken dinner?
Of course
And
not.
Diego,
I wish I did.
great game. He went to my house. I said, "Hey, dude, you want to try PUBG?" He goes, "No, dude. It really looks like a game I'm gonna get super hooked into. I might do some stupid shit that I might regret, aka buy a shitty PC so that he could just play the game instead of just waiting patiently for the perfect rig to run the game. Such an amazing frame rate. Yeah, yeah. I kind of respect him for that. But yeah, fuck. I can't believe you have it now, Harold. I can't believe it, dude.
I dove
Finally gonna be
in
able to
without
play.
any clothes, you know, and I made sure I picked up every single thing I found, because I didn't know what I was doing. it was so fun.
All right, really don't know. Were you playing solos in this one?
I played
on these
solo.
in this
It was my first game, and I went into it, got my first kill, got my first death.
Ooh.
It was super fun. Yeah, it was super fun. Let's see if
By
I
the
can...
way,
Did you
the
teabag
stats-
the guy?
The stats mysteriously reset like weekly or I think monthly, so you're gonna lose your stats soon. So
Oh, okay.
don't want to be the
This is
I mean,
not
I don't
your
really
gameplay,
mind. I don't
his
really
gameplay.
mind.
That's his personal gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh look, he has a vest too. He has the cross. Wow, this guy picked up the crossbow.
Yeah, man.
Never.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is good, right, guys? Right? And I looked around
There's
and no
one
one was
advice I
there.
give. You only pick up the crossbow when you need to pick up the crossbow. Like when you're in a crowded area, like there are a lot of people there, and you see a crossbow, pick up the crossbow.
Yeah,
But
for the
if you're,
longest
like,
time,
looting by-
while I was running around, that was the only thing I had, and I realized, like,
And you
okay,
gotta
I could pick
get
up
things.
clothes, right? So I started dressing myself as I was holding the crossbow. So it was, honestly, like, PUBG is fun, and I enjoyed my first 2 games. And then I also got to play some Sniper versus Thieves. Have you guys heard of this?
Oh, no, I haven't heard
What's
of
this? Sniper's what?
Sniper versus Thieves. So I got to play a little bit of it for most play games, and it's pretty much a sniper game, but at the same time you could be a thief as well. If you're a sniper, your objective is to shoot the thieves. If you're a thief, your objective is to get away with the money in your backpack, and make sure that you get away.
That's a nice game. That's
Yeah,
a nice game. Where can I
it's
get
a mobile
this
game. It's
Oh, it's a
iOS
mobile
and
game,
Android.
even better.
Yeah.
Even-
It's super fun. I found myself enjoying this way more than I thought I would. I would recommend it. It has like a sort of Evil Genius Team Fortress 2 kind of graphics. And it's super fun to play. I definitely
versus
would
Thieves.
recommend it. Oh,
We should
whoops.
definitely get it on our phones. Is it
Yeah.
for free or?
It's free.
Oh, it's for free. Oh,
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna get
Oh, it's
that.
for phones. Wow.
Definitely gonna
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah, and
By the way, speaking
yeah,
of
it's super
phones,
fun,
dude,
easy to pick up. So I definitely would recommend it.
by the
How
way,
was your face
speaking of
cam, Harold? Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Oh,
Nick. Sorry.
yeah, speaking of phones, guys, in Magikarp Jump, bro,
Jesus
I
Christ.
finally got my brown apricots.
Oh,
Finally
nice.
got that. Man, it died though. So
Oh my god.
yeah. Hey man, you give me shit for that, but dude, this is the only game aside from Blizzard games that I normally play like on a daily basis. This is a really solid game. I love it. I love it so much. Best game ever. 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Love it.
All right,
10 out
guys.
of 10.
We got to get to the meat of the show. All right, because we're already 30 minutes in and we haven't talked anything about it. So we're gonna get to it. Let me
Alright.
play this. Let me play the sound
Oh,
clip.
yeah, we are.
Here we go.
This week in video games.
This Week in Video Games is brought to you by the Quit Stalling Geekcast. Every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. on the Quit Stalling Podcast Network. We record live on Facebook Live, on Twitch, twitch.tv/quitstalling, and of course on YouTube Live, bit.ly/quitstalling, YouTube Live, I think. Yeah, you'll find all our links over on facebook.com/quitstallingus. Yeah, we do it every Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. Philippine time. Next week, we might just have a special guest from Pockets Full of Pills, so you gotta stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for that.
Oh shit! Is he coming on the show?
He's really coming to the show?
They may or may not. I cannot confirm nor deny it yet until I reply to his message.
Until you get the email.
Yeah,
you should get, dude, you should get Art Germ though. You should really get Art Germ. Talk
Most
more
definitely.
about the prints.
Oh, Diego, that
And
reminds me. Did
especially-
you give your card to Will Sprotasio?
No, dude, I wasn't able to catch him.
Okay, that means Diego forgot his cards at home, and
No, I brought the cards. I didn't see them.
it's all good, dude.
Yeah, I remember. No, you were talking about that on Saturday, right?
Nah,
That
it's
was
fine.
Saturday. You were saying, "Oh, he's not here." I know. I'll give him a card when I see him tomorrow. No. We only
That's
saw
cool,
Jago in the
that's cool.
Netflix booth, by the way.
All right,
on
so
Sunday.
shout out to
It was just
Urim
me.
in the Twitch chat. He's saying the EDF deploys, and to add him up on Steam. Definitely Urim. We're gonna party it up. We're gonna get us some chicken dinners.
EDF deploys. Yep.
Same with Darren Aceto in the Facebook chat. He's saying you could actually have your character sing the EDF deploy.
Yes, exactly. That's what's nice about the game. It's like they start singing a song, and then when you're like marching with the AIs, if you start singing, they will reply.
Oh wow,
No.
that's awesome.
I said, even if you're dead, if you say something, they will sing along.
Wow.
And they have like the weird banter, like, "Oh, did you propose to her?" Or like, "Oh, they're making dinner at home. I hope I can make it." It's like that stuff.
Oh,
you know.
awesome. All right, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk more about
Some
PUBG later on, but we got a lot to
Yep.
talk about in terms of Star Wars Battlefront 2, don't we, Mick?
Yes, we do. Here's
Ugh. Horrible.
What?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I
They
still am
showed-
so furious with the first one.
Oh,
Dude.
okay.
Oh, the problem with the first one, and we're gonna compare it with the second one. I hope they don't make the mistake, is that they took away what made the game a viable game. To be
Mhm.
honest, it became such a linear directionless game where all you do is just mindless killing of your opponents, and then with the chance of maybe getting Leia or Luke or Darth Vader if you're on the other
But
side.
you get your is that how do you, question? How would you become Leia, Luke, or Vader? Would you
Oh,
respawn as them?
If you reach like a kill streak, you will get a chance to play that character in your
Oh
next
my
life.
God.
It's like that.
In
It's
your
not
next
it's
life.
not- once you activate that, your character disappears. You change into like Luke, and you're just jumping around, ninjing people. Yeah. Well, anyway, Battlefront 2 is about to come out though. They finally showed some great footage.
Okay, so the footage that Harold's showing us is that
amazing, man. Yeah.
okay?
That-
So you can actually pilot a ship now.
Yes.
It's not on rails.
Yes.
Okay,
Dude.
that's good.
What's nice with the game is that they added so much elements. Everything that people have been wanting from this game, or from the Star Wars universe, they finally were able to do it. I'm not saying it's gonna be a great game, but based from this footage, it kind of looks good. It's very promising, very tempting to buy.
Mhm.
What do you think, Harold?
I think the Battlefront games, especially the last one, have always had great potential, but they've always fallen short due to intuitiveness and pretty much intuitiveness. You know, like when you play a Battlefront game, especially as someone coming into the game, you have no clue what's going on, and
Yeah.
it takes you like 20 games to figure out what happens in each map. You know, and that's always been the flaw that I've noticed. It's always looked pretty, like we're seeing now on the screen. For those of you who are listening only to the audio, we're playing the Gamescom footage right now. It's always been
Yep.
pretty, and you know that's always been a plus for them, and that's always been a reason to play the game. But it's always fallen short in terms of gameplay itself. I'm hoping that the gameplay footage we're watching right now and the gameplay footage that was shown at Gamescom means that the cameras are going to be more stable, and we're not going to get dizzying aerial combat or dizzying first-person shooting, because that's always been a flaw, and that's all I'm hoping, and it's looking good so far, with this Gamescom footage, and it's getting my hopes up, and fingers crossed that it's going to turn out well. I'm still waiting for my goddamn Luke Skywalker game. We talked about this on the show before.
Oh my God, you've been ranting about that since even before Mick got on the show.
I've been ranting about that since I was 12, man. Or Diego, thoughts?
But yeah, I think that with this game, it's that is it made by DICE? Is it also made by DICE? Under EA?
Yeah. It's made by DICE in cooperation with a bunch of other EA studios.
LucasArts, EA,
Motive Studios.
Well, DICE. I think that what makes this such a hyped game is that DICE is making it. Mm-hmm. Well, because DICE is they're pretty good at making their games. I mean, look at Battlefield 3, 4.
Battlefield 3 was amazing. It was the best.
3 was the best of that whole series, and then Battlefield 1 brought back the flame of Battlefield 3, but in a more World War One setting, which was okay. I mean, it was okay. It was fun. It got a little tedious after a while, and then you actually ran out of stuff to do. Mm-hmm. Once you like for example, as you level up there in your progression wise, you get a new gun, you unlock a new gun, or you buy a new gun, and then with that, once you reach the maximum level, you get the last gun, the best gun for that class, and then after that, nothing else.
Yeah.
Basically, you're just killing. You're just mindlessly killing to just add more stuff to your stars, because you get stars for every I think 1,000 kills on your gun, and then you can actually put that on your dog tag. So when they see you in the kill cam, they can see that this guy, he has been using this gun and has killed
which gun
over
this guy uses.
people like that.
Yeah.
Killed
okay, so real
3,000.
quick, I mentioned, it's made by DICE in cooperation with other EA studios such as Motive and Criterion Software.
I see.
But going back to your current point, Mick, that reminds me of how another great flaw from Battlefield, the first reboot of Battlefield. One of the greatest flaws was their progression system and just how stupid it was, And I hope they have a better system this time, because it got to the point, like we talked about on the previous show, where certain people had the expansions, they paid for the pass and all of that, and other people didn't. So the server queues would take long to match you up in a game, because it made sure that the people who bought all the stuff play with the people who bought the current content. And the people who didn't have the current content played with those people, and I think they're taking a cue. If I'm not mistaken, and from what we talked about in the previous show, if I'm not mistaken, they're taking a cue from Overwatch and all the games right now, where they're just releasing. They're charging you a fee up front, and then they're releasing it as you go along.
Yeah, I think that was the problem with the gaming industry for a while. It's that, okay, we're gonna release this game that you guys have been waiting for, and then we'll just release maybe 60% of the game, and then we'll release it in increments of 10%, and then charge you $9.99 for it every time we release the 10% extra. Yeah, but I think that a lot of the games nowadays, in the past how many years, they try to do the same model to actually extend the life of a game, but the thing is, it's a double-edged sword. It's either it really does extend, you get a really solid following, a lot of people buy the game, or you don't. You just get a hardcore following for the game who really enjoy it, who somewhat worships it or plays it daily, and then that's where they get the rest of their cash flow from. And it's nice to see that games from other games have been trying to eliminate the need for DLCs for that stuff. What's a good example for that? Games from Valve, specifically CS:GO, or then the online games now, like Dota 2, CS:GO. They don't, all their expansions, they release it for free. All you got to do is Well, Dota, you don't have to pay. It's for free. And then for CS:GO, you just have to pay that one-time fee of like was that about $10? I think. I think it's $9.99 on the Steam store. About $500. So it's nice to see that they're finally gonna do it. They're finally gonna give us a 100% game. That's what I love.
I don't wanna like sound like I'm going against. Okay, everyone's so used to paying $60 for a game, right? That's the standard. 3,000. That's about 3,000 pesos, right? But I told myself this like last year that I don't mind. I know that making games, making all this phenomenal, graphically inclined games take a lot of time, take a lot of money, take a lot of effort, take a lot of manpower. I don't mind if you tell me pay $80 for the full game because that's how much it'll cost because labor is more expensive. Things become more expensive. I don't mind. Just stop with this whole adding more stuff after.
Yeah.
I really don't mind paying
leave
more.
The game as is.
Just leave make sure that I can download it. I can walk out of the store with a sure ball game that works.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because
actually,
people, consumers, fans will pay money for it. The mere fact that think like Kickstarter, Patreon is a thing that people will pay money for good content. Why not, right?
True.
Yeah.
Just don't give me this DLC bullshit or these day one patches.
Yeah, I actually want to close this whole thing because I think the three of us are all in agreement that we would rather have a game that's the 100% playable game that's amazing, without the need for adding for $60 rather than the $60 for a game and then buy these DLC for $9.99 every 3 or 4 months.
Most definitely, yes.
I see. To end this, there is a game though that has pulled this off so good that really? I gotta mention them, which is the Witcher series, the Witcher 3 in general. Course, now, when you buy the Witcher 3, there's so much stuff to do because it's such a great game. Now, when they released their expansions, they released 2 expansions. They were standalones. Well, not really standalones, but more on they were based on the universe, but they were really long expansions. They're not just like 5-minute gameplays or maybe like 2-hour gameplays. No, they were long. They added so much to the whole Witcher storyverse or universe. And props to them for doing that because not everyone really does that. They just like they might use the DLC process to like fill in some problems with their storytelling. I'm talking about you, Square Enix.
And Mass Effect.
And Mass Effect. Yeah, but, yeah. I'm gonna call them out right now. Square Enix, dude. What the fuck did you guys do with Final Fantasy 15? It's a great game. I love the game. Don't get me wrong, but there are so much plot holes. And why are you selling us the DLC? Well, I think it's maybe they're making a demand for it, but come on, man. You could have just, made the game a lot longer. Because the thing is, I feel kind of cheated from the $60 that, well, not really a $60. Well, it's almost like $60 that I spent on the game just to find out that, so there's like a big gap. Like what the fuck happened in those gaps, right? I don't want to see that. I want to see a full story being told. And then just the minor details won't even bother me. But these are major details, dude. Those were major gaps, dude. Like, there's like a part there that it was like it happened 5 years after where you picked off. Like, where you saved 5 years later. And then like, what the fuck happened in the 5 years? It's like the main character, was like frozen in ice. Or like he got stuck somewhere. What happened to the 3 other fucking characters? What the fuck happened to them for 5 fucking years? Right? And then they just meet, just so happens like, hey guys, 5 years later, I know that we have something to do. So it's been 5 years, so let's do it, okay? Like that, dude. Come on, man. Square Enix, you're getting a little lazy, man. You gotta get a little lazy. That's just me. You're getting a little lazy with your storytelling. You gotta step up your game. 13 was pretty bad storytelling. It's a good story, bad storytelling.
Square Enix, I think, is putting all their storytelling into Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
14 has a good story. Final Fantasy 14, The Realm Reborn, is an amazing game, an amazing MMORPG that you guys should try, but don't get super into it because it really like takes away a lot from you. Except for Wancho, because Wancho's the man.
Yeah, Wancho, former Quetzalling host Gallard, they all play that, and Yeah, I've heard good things, but of course, yeah, it's your typical Japanese MMO where you grind out a lot of it.
Good game, good storytelling from Square Enix. I don't know what happened with 13 and 15.
Yeah. All right.
But
speaking of MMOs, guys, we got a new Destiny showing up on the beta radar. And Diego, I think you have a little you got a little info on this, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Because the beta, the early access for PC users was dropped yesterday, August 28th. So I got a chance to play that.
Woo!
Okay, here. So whatever I'm gonna be saying about Destiny, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. And with the idea that I have not played the first Destiny, so it's hard for me to compare. So on the surface level, okay, it's a solid first-person shooter. It's a looter shooter. It's kind of a looter shooter. I feel like I'm playing Borderlands. I feel like I'm playing Halo on a PC. Gameplay-wise, it's great. I like that you have skills. That you're not just shooting things. I like that there's a skill per class. You can tweak the skills. The
Warlock, the Hunter.
Yeah, the Warlock, the Titan, the Hunter. There are 3 classes, but you can play it differently, and because each class has 2 different skill sets, so it's up to you what what makes you however you want to play it. Okay, but as for the beta, how the game was, the beta is boring as fuck.
Oh wow.
Okay. But that's because it's a beta. What do you expect there to be? The full game? No, right? So all they give you is 1 campaign and 3 other missions you can choose after the campaign. Because once you log in the game, once you pick your character, they throw you into a campaign, like a first mission kind of thing, a prologue mission. And then after that, you go into the hub station where you pick if you want to do a fire strike, which is a cooperative. Point A to get a point A to from point A to point B, fight a boss at the end, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's a maximum. You have to queue up with 3 other people. That it's a matchmaking kind of system. And then there are 2 more. There are 2 more modes. One is PvP, and this PvP is more of deathmatch, or just more of who gets the most kills at the end of the whole thing. And then the second one is elimination. It's a match deathmatch, elimination deathmatch. It's 4v4. Once you die, you're dead, but you can still get revived a few times. But basically, it's just to kill everyone in the opposing team, and that counts as 1 win. And then there's best of how many? I think best of 5, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there's not really much to do because it's a beta.
It's beta.
I think. I was hoping that they'd release some of the open world stuff because that's what I'm really excited for. Some of the open world, but I get why they don't want to do that because
I have to break it to you, Jigs, but it's not necessarily an open world.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's an instance based. There's a map, and then when you get out of the map, you go elsewhere.
Yeah.
When you want to say an MMO is an open world, you normally see you can continuously go from one place to point A to point B. If it's 10 game kilometers away, in distance, you can travel all of that and experience so much bullshit. But
that I understand.
This game, that's what made it such a great game, is that it's an instance-based game. So the dungeons are just amazing. The co-ops are fun. The instance-based maps, where you could just go level up with your friends and stuff. That's also a pretty fun place. And
I guess for better terminology.
I just want to see people maybe in a year's time. I want people to go when Anthem is out. Yeah, I want it's kind of like Destiny 2, but then it's an open world. I really want to hear that from someone, and I go, oh my god! I give him a high five. I'm like, this guy knows the difference. Yes.
Yeah,
that's all I wanna see, or what everyone wants to pick up from this.
I think for better terminology reasons. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I know that it's not.
You want the PVE content, and I think you're really good at that.
That's a better term for
the PVE content. That's gonna be great.
When I mention open world, it's more of an open hub area rather than just a literal hub. Yeah. Instance based is fine. Yeah, instance based. I'm also waiting for that, but
it's a good game.
It's just that you won't get any of that in the beta, because what also makes it's more of just to show you what the new skills are, what the skills. I don't even know if
Exactly.
it's new because again, I haven't played the first one. So you just basically show you if there's anything new, how the game plays, if the graphics are any better, what else is different, if there are new guns, because they also throw you with all the best equipment. So but the thing is, there is kind of a collection system. You can also still unlock weapons like every time you finish a certain mode. You can you can get new equipment, you can get new armors, you can mod the armors. That's pretty much all you can do. Nothing else aside from that.
Well, it kind of reminds me of that the open beta for The Division. That was a great game. You can only play like one campaign until level 5, and then you get to the dark zone, and then everyone's in the dark zone, so it's all crowded. It's super laggy. People were just killing each other, like throwing grenades at each other and stuff. It was fun.
Didn't the thing kind of bomb at the start?
No, it bombed in the start because people were pretty pissed off at the whole hacking system. That hackers were able to destroy the game early on, like for PC players.
Okay.
For console players, they were living the life. They were enjoying their asses off for months on end. While us on the PC side, we were like, "Fuck! There's a flight hacker, a teleport hacker, or like, oh shit! There's this guy with a one-shot kill." Like those were the hacks that we had to deal with in the dark zone, and it kind of killed the dark zone for us. Once they were able to fix it, it was kind of too late. A lot of people already quit the game because they were already max level. There was not much end game content other than the dark zone. To enter the dark zone or to do like hard mode instances. I feel bad because one, it was a good game. It was very promising. The concept was great. The story it was based on by Tom Clancy is pretty good. But and I paid $4,000 for it. At that time it was like $80 to $100 for the one with the expansion.
Dang.
And I feel pretty bad. I feel bad, man. I only got to play one expansion, the free one. Not even the ones that I paid for. Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
That is gonna feel
but
bad.
Destiny 2, I actually am gonna remind you that it actually plays similar to a game that you are familiar with, Diego, to some extent, just to some extent.
Halo?
Skyforge.
Skyforge. Yeah, no.
They're somewhat similar, in the sense that it's the missions that you check and you're like mission protocol and all that bullshit. It's there, but the difference is that this is fast-paced FPS action. This is violence. This is violence in a very fast pace. In a very, very fast pace.
Yeah,
with all the tumbling, all that stuff, like you're jumping around and shit. Yeah, that's what people look forward to. Skyforge is boring. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, it was my brother who played it. I never really got to play Skyforge.
Oh, but you are familiar with it. That's why I knew that you would get the reference.
I can see what you mean. Like the pacing of Destiny, I'd say it's pretty nice. It's a Bungie game, so the pacing. Game. It's bingo. You know that joke? Oh my god, I gotta make. You know that joke from Red versus Blue?
Not even. No.
Basically, it's a joke where some guy is like they're watching the Bungie logo, and then he reads it, bungle.
Bungle.
And then one guy says, "That's an I, you idiot." Oh, I get it. Bingo.
Bingo. Bungie.
But I love Bungie, I love Bungie, but I love Bungie for Halo.
Oh yeah, Bungie's pretty good for Halo. But anyway, guys, as we move on to with the show, we gotta talk about one of my personal favorite franchises from, I think, was that 2 years ago or a year ago? South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Before you do, Mick, I want to give a shout out to Migs Tapasha for the like on our Facebook page. Thank you, Migs. Wancho for joining us in the chat. Wancho says, Diego screamed like a girl at the Netflix Death Note thing. I could hear him from the line. Just want to put this here. And
Diego, a girl in the Death Note, I could hear him from the line. I just want to put this here.
Darren Aceto says, GTA 5 is a great example of a game being added onto over the years. That's true. Another example is World of Warcraft. I do want to say...
Pay for each expansion, by the way.
No, aside from the expansion, they give you patches the current. Yeah. Well, we'll
Like,
talk about that in a little bit.
They did a good job adding. Well, they did a good job adding on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll
right,
talk about that in just a little bit.
Sorry.
But before we do, we are going to talk about South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Mick, take it away, man.
Oh yeah, well, The Fractured Butthole is basically the long-awaited sequel to the first one, which is The Stick of Truth, it's a really funny take. When they did the first one, South Park, The Stick of Truth, it's their way of mimicking an RPG. It's a way for them to just poke around at the idea that, oh, the turn-based RPGs are fun and stuff. And this one takes it to a whole nother level. Like it's a lot more fucked up. First and foremost, I expect the Australian that commission in Australia that censors the games, to censor the fuck out of this game. Like,
I should censor you.
They will exclude a lot of the scenes. They will exclude a lot of the scenes from this game, like what they did with Stick of Truth. And I had to go through that because we got the Australian copies here in Manila, so fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had to find the hack for that so I could just see the whole game. But this one's fun because now
we got the Australian copies.
We got the Australian copies when the Stick of Truth came out here. So every time they were doing like that, the anal probe scene with Stan's dad,
it'd be censored.
It was censored. It's just a picture of a koala that's shocked, that's hanging on a bamboo. He's shocked, and it's just a big long line. And it's just like you can just hear a ooh in the background for like a good 2 minutes or like 30 seconds of the gameplay. So you don't hear anything. They really censored it out.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so moving back to this game though, I mean, this game is now basing it from the whole superheroes gimmick they had, which is basically the King and Mysterion. Mysterion's pretty much my favorite because from the whole South Park line, he's actually the only one with a legit heroic ability, a hero power, which is he can't die. Spoiler alert!
Yeah, what was special about their Gamescom presentation?
Well, a lot of people were waiting for the fact that they were looking forward to this game because the first game was funny as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And they just wanted to see footage. I mean, the nightclub scene is pretty fucking fucked up, dude. To be honest,
I really should start censoring you.
Which one? Sorry, you got cut. I didn't hear you.
I really should start censoring you like this.
No, I mean, oh, hey man, no. I guess we can say a lot of bad words or some bad words, but yeah, they're gonna censor this game. They're gonna censor this game. It's a little more. They added a few features like the whole you can just throw stuff at things instead of having to approach them and then you toggle a button. Now you can actually throw stuff around your area and really reacts that way. And I think that the whole powering factor of this game.
Yuck, boogers and cum. My God.
Who's there? See, that's what makes South Park such a great topic for a game or something like that. It's really just nonsense in the game.
I'm just glad that again, ever since the first one, is that at least when it comes to South Park, they stick to the source material. It's a South Park. It's as if I think you can attest to this, Mick. You can say it's as if you're watching an episode of South Park.
Yeah, but then here's the funny part is that the Stick of Truth was basically based on a two-part episode, or I think it was a three-part episode from South Park, which was the battle between Xbox One or PS4. So basically, the kids were in medieval clothing, and then they were debating on whether they should buy the PS4 or whether they should buy the Xbox One. And it was a really long, it's a long episode. It was just full of stupid things, dude. It was full of really funny references, and it tries to mimic the whole console wars. Microsoft is better than Sony. Oh no, but Sony has better teraflops in their processing rate and bullshit. Yeah,
And then they come up with the episode where Cartman freezes himself in time to wait for the Wii.
Oh, yeah. that one.
That one was.
That was good. It's great. It's okay. I love South Park. Okay, that's it's like one of the shows that I will never ever like regret regret watching, because there are a lot of shows I regret watching. This one's not, and same goes for the game. This game, a lot of references to South Park. Like in the Stick of Truth, they had the whole Jin Pokemon collecting. So you started collecting Jin Pokemons around the map, and then what was that again, dude? And then they really took a play. They really took a play on. They really poked at the whole idea of how turn-based RPG games were played back in the 90s when they were such a big deal with Final Fantasy, Chrono Cross, all that stuff. And they're just taking that same formula from the Stick of Truth, but adding a new storyline to it, because it's just basically kids playing with each other. It's just not playing with each other, playing games with playing games with each other. This time they're playing as their superhero counterparts. And not to mention,
You wanna play Doctor?
You wanna play Doctor?
All right, so from South Park, yeah, really excited to see that game come. And you know, the Stick of Truth was that game that no one knew they needed, but turned out to be one of the best games out there. And you know, the Fractured Butthole, I'm expecting to be the same. But from South Park, we're gonna move on to Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
Yeah,
Star Citizen.
So what happened with Star Citizen over in Gamescom, guys?
All right, so Mick, you might have to help me a bit with this one, since I haven't followed it too much. But yeah, I'll just explain the basically what they showed over at Gamescom. Basically, if I'm not mistaken, in Star Citizen, over the past years or so, you've been able to access an FPS mode of gameplay, ship flying, and planet exploration, right? So what they demoed in Gamescom was that basically they demoed the build that brings all those three components all together, basically accessing all three modes of gameplay without a loading screen. Because before, you'd have to, okay, I'm gonna play the FPS mode, all right, play it. Okay, then if I want to play the other one, so I gotta go to menu maybe and load up the ship flying thing, and then go to the menu and go to the exploration. Yeah, so now what they're showing is basically it's all together. It's all one big thing, which is great. It's a huge step now, because everyone's been waiting for this game for how long? I know you, Mick, you've been waiting for this game as well.
It's gonna be it's gonna be great, because it reminds me of EVE Online. That's actually a really good game as well. I got to play a few, maybe a week of it, because it got kind of hard for me. It got kind of hard to understand, and when I started watching videos of it, it's crazy. Like, they even have their currency is as good as like almost 1:1. One of the credits in EVE is like $1 already. Almost.
Oh, wow.
I'm not quite sure with this one, but
wow.
they were really these people. They in the States, dude. They really take this game super seriously, and I think that Star Citizen, hopefully, if it materializes as great as how they're showing it off to be, dude, people are gonna flock over for this game.
Yeah, they had some footage over at Gamescom showing how there's a feature where your webcam will take in your facial expressions and your character will mimic it. And I just thought that's extremely unnecessary, but also extremely cool. And why haven't they done this sooner? Why haven't they done this sooner?
I love how when people are doing some clips, taking some clips, and then you just go, and then you see from the clip, you compare it, it really happens. That's funny. It's I got a facial reaction from him. Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
The good thing is that at least that these. Sorry, Mick, who are the developers again of this?
I actually forgot.
Shit, what is it? Well, anyway, the good thing about Star Citizen is that the developers, I think it's Cold Imperium Games.
Cloud Imperium.
I don't care how ridiculous that facial expression thing as whatever they're spending their money on. As long as, and they have been doing this, they always tell the backers what they're doing with their money, which is what any Kickstarter game should be doing. I think that's the reason why not many people haven't gotten mad at the game for it taking forever, because at least when they release alphas, all the alpha, the builds, you can play it. Plus, they always update constantly, if I'm not mistaken. So at least, take as much time as you want to make that game, because we know you are building our dream game.
Just give the updates. Don't
just give the updates. Tell me where my money's going, right?
Yeah, don't no mansky this, guys. Don't
steal the game. Don't steal the game, okay?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it's an update. It's something from Gamescom regard, but it's a good news nonetheless. That's all for.
I think that what they're doing now, the updates and everything of how they're adding more features, even the slightest of details, is making this game such a great game and such an anticipated game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to be able to explore different planets, to be able to become like a space pirate or some shit like that. I'm just looking forward to that, honestly.
Yeah, you just gotta make space great again. You gotta make space.
We're gonna
great
make space
again.
great again.
All right. All right, moving on, guys. From the stars to the shadows, we got Shadows of War news. So what happened when it came to the latest installment of the Mordor franchise known as Shadows of War?
What I know so far is that I think in Gamescom they released a monster trailer. So basically, we just were revealed.
They showed a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, I think it was revealed to us. In Shadows of Mordor, you of course you can control orcs, right? So now I think you can control monsters. So like I think you can ride a freaking dragon this time. Like I don't care what the game is about.
With Shadow of Mordor, you could control.
I can ride a dragon. Yeah. That's all good with me.
Ride a dragon. I like.
Whoops, sorry, wrong button.
Well, with Shadows of War, it's just a continuation of the whole of that whole franchise that a lot of people did not expect to be such a good one. Because when they first saw Shadows of Mordor, it was really a lukewarm reception to it, because people were like, "Oh no, it's another Assassin's Creed ripoff." Ooh, what's that?
That sound.
Whoa.
What was that?
What was that? I have no idea, guys.
Yep. Yeah, but anyway,
sorry about that, guys.
Beep online.
Sorry for the people at home, for the folks at home.
Yeah. But anyway, with Shadows of Mordor, it was a game that a lot of people did not expect to be good because of that Nemesis system, and the story was actually pretty good because it was a take on the whole concept of Lord of the Rings, and a lot of people are fans of that. I'm sure. I'm personally a fan of that. And with Shadows of War, they're bringing in a more fluid movement system. They're upgrading the Nemesis system. I forget how, again. They were adding a lot more stuff, and then the progression of the game, how you build up your army.
They're just making it great again, Mick. They're just making it great again.
Wow. They're just making it even better.
I can't imagine how they can fuck this up, because they already know what's right. All they have to do is just make it righter,
cleaner. They make it
righter.
They make the. They should really make the because it's basically like a half hack and slash with a bit of creativity, because you're adding your combinations and stuff. But they should really
pretty good.
Yeah, and they should really like focus more on the combat system. They should really add more stuff to it, other than just you get the mind crash, or you well, what do you call it again when you hold on to him, like from that scene
where the Vulcan mind meld.
When you brand him, you add a lot more stuff. But
that's drifting. That's
but again, I've seen how I've only seen a few snippets of the game. It brought back a lot of the old school. It brought a lot of the old skills back, plus a bit more. That's all I can say with it, really. Especially that whole in mid-air, you could stop and you could just start hitting, like from that scene. Oh man, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my god, I can do that finally. So I can be a hack and slasher and just kill people and just kill some of the orcs before I even land.
Yeah,
with that
sorry,
whole,
real quick.
smashing around.
Darren Aceto in the chat talking about South Park earlier. He was saying that the game is so the game's just gonna be one long bleep, and it's pretty much like
Pretty much.
like with all the scenes, right?
With the Australian standard, like board of standards, I don't know, but yeah, based on Australia's standards in gaming, there are some parts there that you could include, like maybe puking or like the shitting or all that stuff, or like some of the. But that I'm pretty sure that bar scene, like that whole thing that you were rubbing against the guy in that snippet, they're gonna censor that.
Oh yeah,
You
most
know,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I got
Alright.
nothing against them. They
Yeah.
do
Now
what they do.
going back to Shadows of War, just to wrap things up for this game. As like we're talking a lot about non-canon games today. You know, we got Star Wars Battlefront 2, Battlefront 2, Shadows of War, and these games. You know, it shows that with good gameplay, hopefully Battlefront, and a lot of shiny graphics, people will ignore the story. No, but I'm hoping, the story actually in Shadows of War is really good. It's just a lot of it contradicts the books, and if you don't mind that,
It does.
then definitely pick it up because it's just so good. Think of it as an alternate universe to the Tolkien universe, and it's just really good.
It's a more action-packed storyline of the Tolkien universe rather than more of, I mean, like action-packed in the sense that there's so much war and blood and gore. It's not just all like, Mr. Frodo, let's go to Mordor, like that. No, there's not much of that. It's more of, just blood,
The other side
swinging. Yeah, the other side.
Continuity is not a problem unless quality
Yeah.
is the
Some swing.
Exactly.
All right, so
Some swinging.
some swing.
Oh,
All right.
And last thing. I just want to point this out. That a lot of the, I think that we have to give Ubisoft some love.
Okay.
And last episode, I talked shit about Unity, saying that it's a piece of shit.
Not Unity,
Saying that-
Uplay.
Not Uplay. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh,
the game.
Assassin's Creed. I thought you talked about the 3D
No, I
game
was talking
platform.
about Uplay. I was talking about Assassin's Creed Unity.
Okay.
And I said that they're full. The game was full of shit. There were so many glitches. Day one had a 7 gig patch. Idiots. But it actually brought something to the table. It actually made the game industry mature a bit, which is they kind of moved away from the cinematic trailers, the amazing graphics, or like, oh shit, this guy is jumping off somewhere and he's gonna stab a dude, kind of cinematic, and finally gave people what they wanted, which is to see the actual game as a trailer. And I think that after Unity, they released a game known as not Brotherhood. It is the one in London, I think, the Assassin's Creed one in London. And then instead of them making like a cinematic trailer for it first, like to reveal it, nope, they just showed gameplay footage. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're showing a lot of gameplay footage first, and then maybe the cinematic when it's like, a few weeks away, which is good. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Ubisoft, for making the gaming industry a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should have learned based on their whole what was that game with the hacker guy?
Oh fuck, Watch Dogs. Yeah, that was another thing that it was just too overhyped.
Well, this is basically a trailer that gave completely the wrong impression of what the game actually
The wrong
was.
impression of the game. And
But they have to learn from that. So good on them. Good on Ubisoft.
If you check Top Mojo and WhatCulture.com, What Culture Gaming, they also have videos about those, like the top 10 games that were not as good as the cinematic trailer. Yeah. Just a few snippets. Anyway, moving on.
Real quick. The fact that you couldn't remember that it was called Assassin's Creed Syndicate just speaks to how
There we go. Syndicate.
how unsatisfying that game was, and how lacking
Actually.
Assassin's Creed as a franchise has been.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna tell you now that Syndicate was actually one of my favorites in the whole series. Not because of the gameplay or the story, but because of the whole fact that you could play as a brawler, or you can play as Evie Fry. You can play Jacob Fry, the brawler, the guy who beats up people like head on as an assassin, or you can go as Evie Fry, which is the stealth one, which is it's nice. It's a fresh thing.
Yeah.
And yeah. But again, I'm sorry I forgot the name. You're actually right in saying that it's a forgettable franchise just after the whole Desmond and maybe the Black Flag expansion, Black Flag game standalone. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Anyway,
Whatever.
let's move on.
Cuphead.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
All right, let's talk about Cuphead, guys. So, what was new with Cuphead at Gamescom? So, I'm playing the trailer right now for those of you watching the video feed or watching the VODs
I have
after
no
this.
idea.
Okay,
I honestly have no idea.
real quick. Well, so it's perfect since we're actually. How much time do we have left in the show, Harold?
We got negative 10 minutes, so let's go for it.
All right, so let's breeze through these next ones. These next ones are pretty short anyway. So first off with Cuphead, finally after how was it? Since 2014, they finally made an official release date for Cuphead, which is coming out next month, September 29.
Oh,
Okay, so-
nice.
Woo! Yeah, finally, Jesus Christ, coming out on Xbox and PC. Just a quick recap, if you guys don't know what Cuphead is, it is a game created by Studio MDHR, if I'm not mistaken. It is, the art design mimics cartoons of old, the Hanna-Barbera era. And
No,
it is
not just Hanna-Barbera. It also has a classic Disney feel.
Oh, Disney, sorry, yeah, Disney.
The Felix the
More
Cat
of Disney,
style.
actually.
It's actually more of a
Art Betty
Disney.
Boop style.
More
Based.
of
Betty
the
Boop.
Disney, yeah, sorry. But yeah, I mean, in terms of that old, in other words. So so the reasons for all the delays is because originally this game was just meant to be purely boss battles, but eventually they realized, we want to include traditional platforming levels, and I think if you look at that overworld map, I don't know if that was there originally, but you can imagine that they wanted to keep including a few more and more things, which caused delays. But that's because they just wanted the game to be the best it could possibly be. So they love the game. So I guess it does suck that, oh my God, stop showing this on conventions if you're not going to release the game. But I guess finally they're going to release it.
No,
Well,
and, I'm proud of these guys
Yeah, give it a
because they're doing what the gaming industry should be doing, is showing your game at conventions, getting feedback, and learning from that feedback. And, same with the internet, show your game, get feedback, and don't rush it. And that's what we've been talking about on GameByte since we started is, for the love of God, man, take your time with the game, because when it's out, and no one wants to download a 5 gig day one patch.
5 gig, 7 gig day one patch. I'm talking about
No.
you.
Oh, that makes me cringe.
I have actually a good argument with that whole state. It's like more of that whole thing about taking time with the game could work backwards, but we don't have much time to talk about that. I think I'll save it for the next show. I have a good question.
Long story short,
something we can
I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Long story short, it could blow up in your face. That's it. That's it. Because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
taking too long.
Yeah.
You're killing your own hype. That's it.
But it would be great.
Building
it would
the
be great
hype,
to discuss
and if you
that
take
next
too long-
week. That would be great.
Yeah,
to
we should. We definitely
Yeah,
should.
we should talk about that. Building hype and then just fucking falling flat on your ass.
Yep.
Okay, guys.
All right, let's
Uncharted Lost Legacy,
Sure.
the supposed DLC.
Supposed DLC, yeah, but now it's become a standalone.
It became a standalone. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
because
finally,
they realized they were sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah. I thought they released it. I thought they released it already. Was that the same one?
I don't
Uncharted?
think they.
Yeah, it's been launched, but they brought it to Gamescom. So yeah, go ahead, guys.
And that's just basically it. It was
Basically Uncharted.
It was actually released the first day of the Gamescom, which is August 22. Lost Legacy, originally a DLC, now they made a standalone. It doesn't feature Nathan Drake, so there's Nathan Drake's very, very beautiful wife. And it only features Chloe and some other mercenary character from the 4th game.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Are we moving on?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay.
Unless Mick's got something on it.
I just want to add a few things on the game. It's a polished game. If I'm going to say it's a polished game, it's a good game. You should buy it.
Nice.
A lot of people like it.
No doubt it.
if
Naughty
you are
Dog
a fan
makes
of
great.
the Uncharted series and you want to play a game, you want to play another installment of it, go for this one. But again, you might not like it as much because it's not Nathan Drake, of course. It's not the protagonist we've come to love, because I think they've already taken him out. They don't want to make another one with him in it. They want to start a new one, but from the same kind of gameplay or the same kind of storyline, which is the Uncharted thing.
More power to them to start making new IPs. I mean, when they came out with Last of Us, right? A whole new IP. Wow, Naughty Dog blew us away.
It was arguably one of the best games at that time.
Yeah, I guess you can say also in terms of what you were saying earlier that CD Projekt Red are one of those developers that release full games, no DLC bullshit. Naughty Dog is definitely
DLC
up
bullshit.
Well,
DLC is fine if it's like it's like Rocket League kind of DLC, which is basically
or at least they just release
cosmetic.
I would no day one patches and none of that shit.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. That's it. That's basically it. Lost Legacy out in stores now. It's great.
This one's not a game, but I want to verify this with you, Mick, about the whole PUBG tournament.
Oh, the PUBG tournament. So it's basically the Gamescom Invitational. It happened in Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. It was basically a tournament where I forgot how many teams, and then it's basically they had solos, they had a solo tournament, and then they had a squad tournament. I'm not sure if they had a duo tournament. I was able to watch a few of it. I wasn't able to finish it. Well, based from the reactions of people, it got pretty intense, especially for the solos, especially when they were starting to kill each other. But it does get a little boring and dragging after a while because it's basically just watching people loot. And then they're not even in the same. You have to wait for them to like meet up in that one place, and you're like, "There we go. There's a firefight," and it's not even more than like 10 minutes maybe.
I think this is where you realize that PUBG might not be good in terms of as a spectator. It might be very, very niche, or could even say it could be even boring as a spectator.
It got a bit dragging, but it's a fun game to watch on stream because one, you want to see how they like react to each other, because right now the movement of the game, like the movement of the character, is very limited. They're gonna add the vaulting, the climbing, and everything, and that changes up the whole game. It makes it a lot faster, a lot more fluid. It's gonna make people enjoy it even more than they are right now. And to be honest, it's still considered as one of the best games that came out this year for me. It's one of the best games that came out this year. It's not even a finished game yet, and it just this game shows how it's like that example I was saying. It's a full game, and then they just give you everything else for free. The updates, the more content, the new guns added to the game that you could pick up from either care packages or some random spot.
This game is phenomenally becoming so big. Heck, even like out of nowhere, one time Cheska just randomly messaged me, "Hey Jegs, do you know about PUBG? I hear it's gonna become the next Dota." I was like, "Yeah, it is. It's that big."
Well, it's weird. It's kind of like that's what me and my friends were saying. Is that when I checked when I was like a few years back in my when I checked my Steam client and I checked my friends list, all of them are like randomly playing like Dota 2 or like CS:GO or like Team Fortress 2 or some game that you bought from the Steam store. But then now it's like all of them are almost PUBG. Like maybe 3/4 of the people that are online are playing PUBG.
Yeah.
And I was even one of them. So it's like, it's really becoming such a big game, a big community. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable game. I don't know why. It's like people might find it tedious that I have to start all over again, I have to pick up. But I think it's the thrill of winning a game like this.
It's because no match you're in will ever be the same.
No match will ever be the same. It might
always
be the
be
same formula, but then it might like turn out differently.
It's exactly how Dota and Overwatch and all those other multiplayer games are. Like
Yeah,
you do the same shit, but each experience is always different. So I think what people
How
should
you
really,
react
what
to it. I think
devs
it's how
should
you
capitalize on is the players' experience in the game. Not if the game, well, sure, the game has to be great, but consider their
Yeah.
experience.
Exactly. Yeah, but again, PUBG still to me one of the best games that came out in 2017. And it's
Carol's
only
playing it
better-
now.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna get better as the years pass. Hopefully, if
Yeah.
PlayerUnknown does not give up on his game, then I'm sure that this game will reach its peak potential when it finally comes live.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, we got super quick. I'm just gonna power through this if it's okay with you, Harold, since we're running low on time. Actually, we're over time already.
Yeah,
Is
we're
that okay
over
with you?
time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna save Blizzard at Gamescom along with our other topics for next week. And
Yeah.
the folks at home are just gonna have to wait because this stuff's pretty good, guys.
Well, considering that Blizzard had a lot of releases, so yeah, I don't mind waving up till next week instead.
Yeah, most
Yeah, well,
definitely. And we don't want to rush
In terms
through
of
it.
releases, I don't think it's more releases, more of just, it's just fun content of the game, except for
I guess-
one specific game. I'm not even gonna mention it, but I'll save it for next week. But yeah, there's-
sure.
among all of the announcements, it was basically like one game has this major thing, the second game has this is a new patch, and then the two other games are just like that. With the fifth game, Blizzard being Diablo 3, I'm gonna mention it. They had no announcements for Diablo 3. This gamescom. I'm kind of bummed out, but then
Well, they did just
BlizzCon
release the
is-
Necromancer, so I'm not
they
surprised.
did release the Necromancer, and it's gonna they're gonna add more content by November, or I think it was October. Yeah, November when BlizzCon comes to town.
Yeah, so we'll talk about
Anyway.
all of that next week. But for now, guys, sadly, I do have to say that we have to go. We talked a lot about Gamescom today, and it's been fun, but all good things must come to an end. So I'm gonna end the show like I do every time, by reading the chat first and saying, Darren Aceto, Eldred Cuffle, everyone who's in the chat right now, those of you guys on the Twitch, thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.
Yo.
We appreciate this. Like and subscribe, share,
Yo.
tell your friends about us. Before we go, Darren Aceto says, first thing I'm going to try in Shadow of War is branding all the Uruk captains in a fortress and watch as their war chief gets betrayed by all of his trusted guys. That's pretty awesome. You are a
awesome.
brilliant mind, sir. You are a brilliant mind. All right.
That's gonna be
so,
hard. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, Mick, where can the folks at home find you when you're not on GameByte?
When I'm not on GameByte, you guys can find me on Twitter. That is @TheFuryBot, where I basically talk about how salty the Hearthstone ladder is, or basically my salty life in general.
Because why
That's it.
not, right?
Because why not?
Why not?
Because you might find some laughter at my expense.
At your expense. Awesome,
At my
awesome.
expense.
All right. Diego, man. Diego Z. Diego Zuluaga, the big maestro of hate and the fury. Where can the folks at home find you when you're not on GameByte?
Okay. Before I get to that, I just want to give a quick shout out also again to my girlfriend Cheska tuning in. Thanks so much, hon, for listening. And thank you for. And it's nice because she also sometimes she provides me with small bits of news for the show. That whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's so supportive of the show. Thanks, hon.
Thanks, hon.
Okay.
Sure, we do. Love.
Okay, so you guys, if you guys can't find me on the podcast, you can find me over at my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/instadeeze, INSTADEEZEE. That's pretty much it. I'll be streaming. I think I'm gonna be streaming. If I've got time tomorrow, I think I'm gonna be streaming more of Destiny 2, and I think I'm gonna be able to stream some Sonic Mania as well. I've been talking about that since last week, so I think I'm gonna try to get first-hand impression of the game, and I'll be able to share with you guys next week.
Definitely.
Awesome.
I look
Awesome.
forward to that, man. And Harold, where can the folks find you when you're not on the GameByte podcast?
Thanks, Mick. When I'm not on GameByte, I'm on the Quit Stalling Geekcast Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. every week. That's at
Gee whiz!
That's about 3:30 a.m. California time. If you want to find me on social media, I'm at Herald Plays on Twitter, on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/Herald Plays. And if you want to find out more about Quit Stalling in general, head on over to www.quitstalling.us or www.quitstalling.us. We're on social media on Twitter at QuitStallingUs. We're on Instagram at QuitStalling. Head on over to our Facebook, which is probably where you're watching this right now, facebook.com/QuitStallingUs. Like, share, subscribe. Like and share. Tell your friends all about us. We're also on Twitch, which is probably where some of the other of you are watching us. Twitch.tv/QuitStalling. And of course, we're also streaming live on YouTube, as we always do. bit.ly/QuitStalling with a capital Q and a capital S. We're on SoundCloud. If you want to listen to our audios, we're at soundcloud.com/QuitStalling. And of course, all our podcast feeds are up in any podcatcher that you may subscribe to. We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Play.fm, and many more. If we're not on your podcatcher, let us know and we'll upload it to that podcast directory, or we'll link it to that podcast directory. Once again, all our links are on quitstalling.us. So head on over there and check things out. That's about it, guys. I think all I have to say now is get off your butt and quit stalling and like our stuff. For Mick, for Diego, and for the absent Vince. Oh, really sorry, we forgot to mention it. Vince, man, we hope you're doing better. He's not feeling too well. He was supposed to join us today, but he'll definitely be on the show next week. Vince, man, we definitely miss you this week. We'll see you guys. Yeah. Come on,
3 weeks. I've seen y'all.
Those chestnuts do stuff to you.
Those chestnuts.
Keep it classy, guys. Keep it classy.
All right, take it easy, everybody.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Same bat time.
Same. Well, continue.
Oh, that channel. Bye.